My name is Samuel. I'm here to do a presentation on sociology presentation on what life is like a stage according to dramaturgy. And in this, I'm going to be looking at explaining role performance and sign vehicles, teamwork, and becoming roles that hold society together. Also, the other section we cover issue about the social constructs of reality to my own personal life, and I'm going to be giving examples. And lastly, I'm going to be talking about what holds the society together in my own words. Okay, so let's get this all started. Looking at dermatology and what it's all about, and we see dermatology as that it focuses on the how life is being managed, and it perceives lives as a kind of a play on in a scene, and the actor, the person involved is the actor, then the people, he has audience, and there's a stage, and the actor tends to portray a certain characteristics, a certain picture he desires or he wants the audience to perceive. So that's all about life. So if you want to be seen as a responsible person, you portray attributes of being responsible. If you want to be perceived as an intelligent person, you know the attributes of that intelligent person. So as you play this role on a stage, you portray such attributes. Then you push it to the audience, and the audience perceives that. And that takes us to the section of the role performance. Like we say in dramaturgy, it's about role, what you do, the role you play. So you could be playing the role of a father, you could be playing the role of a child, you could play the role of a student. As I am talking, I'm doing a course in sociology. I'm playing the role of a student. Also, I could be playing the role of an employee to my employer. So there are different roles, and in these different roles, there are different messages image you want to portray. So you try to portray the image to your audience, and it depends on your audience, and it depends on the message you want to pass across to. So that is the role play we are talking about here. Now that takes us to the other one that's talking about the signed vehicles. The signed vehicles here is that there are models, there are method, there is what you use in passing across that information, that audience, that perception you want audience to pick at. So according to Goffman's phrase, he stated about tools we use. Sign vehicle is the tool one use to introduce or send across that perception to others, and this could come in form of social, made up of social setting, the appearance, and the mode of interaction, or the method of interaction here. So when you talk about social setting, we are talking about where is the play, or where is this thing taking place. So it could take place in a classroom, it could be in the home, it could be in your doctor's office, it could be in the president's office, Joe Biden's office, the Oval Office. Okay, it could be anywhere. So it depends on the message. So, and the social setting determines how you present yourself, and the setting determines the message you want to portray. Okay, it could be informal setting, so it has a bearing on how you present yourself, even to your wearing and how you appear. So that leads us to the next one, that is talking about appearance. So when you try to portray, what do you want to portray? If you're a religious person, you want to portray yourself as a religious person, you know what is acceptable in that religion, the appearance that is acceptable. There are some religion that forbid some certain appearance. So when you want to portray yourself, you know you don't have abide such appearances. There are some, if it's an official setting, there are some certain appearances that is not advisable in an official setting. So you need to avoid such. So it depends on, so your appearance matters. And in terms of this appearance, we are talking about the physical stature, your physical outlook, the slimness in terms of women that, and their beauty. You know, beauty matters a lot to women. So how they appear, are they slim, are they kind of in the big side, or are they fair, are they dark, are this and all those things matter. So it is actually they portray them in a particular way if they are trying to pass a message to the audience. In this dramaturgy, which is role play, it's all about life. Some places they look at it as packaging, that is in the local palace in Nigeria. So the other one is talking about the clothing, what you wear. So different settings needs require you to take a particular require different clothing. So the clothing you use for church, because you want people in the church to perceive you, there's a message you want to pass, is different from the one you use when you go for clubbing, because you want to send across a different message in clubbing, in the clubhouses. The same thing, the clothes you use at home will not be the same you use when you go to work. So these are the different things. So it depends. So we also talk about the race. So basically in sociology, we're talking about how you perceive your race, and sociology has to recognize just three races. We talk about white, black, and Asian. So basically, the next one is manner of interaction. So when you talk about manner of interaction, you look at what you use in conveying your message across. They are different, both the verbal and the non-verbal. And when you use the verbal, there are words that are acceptable in a particular setting that may not be acceptable in another setting. And you have to have understanding that non-verbal clues could mean different things for different people and in different settings. So while you're trying to send across a certain message to a person, you have to consider the settings, and you have to look at the audience you are passing the message to. So in this, we've been able to look at the sign vehicle as things we use to convey the perception we want the audience to pick, and we're losing that social is makes up the social setting, it makes up of the appearance, and also we will talk about the manner of interaction, how what you use in conveying both verbal and non-verbal communication mode. And also we have to be looking at, when you talk about this role we play, because it's a drama, is a dramaturgy, is like a stage. So we talk about this role we play, we talk about teamwork. We can't do it alone. When you talk about playing a role, if you're talking about drama, you're acting in with others. The audience is a team. Your audience is part of the whole setting. The other people on the background is also part of the setting. So you need to collaborate. There should be a kind of collaboration. You need to work together, because team, as we all know, is when people, two or more or groups of people comes together to achieve a particular set goals. It could be in production, it could be in service delivery, it could be in any or non-tangible results and objectives. So when you come together to do that, so those things you may not be able to achieve individually, or the percentage of success you may not be able to achieve individually, collectively as a team, you'll be able to achieve it. Okay, so that's teamwork. So you have to get that understanding and makes work flow. So the roles we play, in playing these roles, we play different roles. As I'm making this presentation, I'm playing the role of a presenter, and also as a student. Also in my place of work, I play the role of a colleague and an employee. I play the role of an employee to my employer, and to my colleagues, to my co-workers, I play the role of a colleague. Okay, in my house, I play the role of a father, I play the role of a husband, and also in my extended family, I play the role of a son, and I play the role of a brother. I play the role of aunt, of an uncle, and the rest of it. So different roles. So individual could play a different role at different depending. So you can be, as an individual, you have multiple roles. Okay, there could be role conflicts. Sometimes it conflicts your role you have to play as a father may complete the role you have to in the office, because sometimes you have to take care of the child at home, and your employer needs you to come at work to work immediately. So you need to kind of coordinate and know the best way to handle this, so that you get the best. The audience here, your family is one audience, the other audience is your place of work. So you need to find a way when there's a conflict in these roles to make sure that you're able to pass across the right perception that you intend to get. So when you talk about social construct of reality, social construct of reality is all about perception. You say what we tag as our reality, some substantive things, is different. It depends on our background. It depends on our childhood experience. It depends on our upbringing. It depends on our culture. And we look at social construct of reality. What could matter to me may not matter to another person. What could matter to my race may not matter to another race. What could matter in another race may not matter in another. Because what built up the reality that we perceive, because we made this reality as we are giving birth to, is the previous experience and decision taken by people that came before us to form a certain values, a certain belief, and I came and became part of it. For instance, my ancestors decided to become Christians. I believe that is why actually I'm a Christian today. Definitely. Maybe had it been my ancestors to be of another religion, I might not be from that. I might likely be from that religion and not being a Christian. So sometimes you look at it from that point of view. Some of the things I perceive that are tangible to me, some of the things I hold as a value in my value system as a belief, came as a result of my childhood and my upbringing. To another person, it might not be the same. Take another example. In the United States of America, or in the most Western world, polygamy is a forbidden act. But in Igbo culture in Nigeria, it is an acceptable line of culture. Polygamy, you can marry more than one, so far you'll be able to take care of them. But in the Western world, it's no, no, no. So my reality in Nigeria is acceptable. In tradition, I mean tradition, not Christian here, religion. We're talking about the tradition, African tradition. It is accepted in my Igbo African tradition, polygamy. But in Christianity, which is a Western culture that was introduced to Africa, and which is what builds the foundation of what you see in Western world today, basically, they don't allow polygamy. So the reality is different. Also, in Western culture, they allow homosexuality. But in Nigeria, in where I come from, it is against the law, both in the legal aspect of it and in the traditional aspect of it. Homosexuality or gay is not allowed. Okay, sexual relationship is seen in the Western world coexist between two persons of different sex and or people of the same sex. That's homosexuality or heterosexuality. But in Africa, in my background, in Nigeria, homosexuality is a crime, is a taboo. They only recognize heterosexuals, which are the sexual relationship between people of two opposites or two different sex. So these are realities. These are in different culture, in different contexts. These are said there. I could not say that mine is superior or the Western one is superior, but that is the reality of it. That is the social construct of reality using religion and some cultural differences. Now, finally, we'll be looking at what binds society together. My personal perspective, I look at what binds society together as those shared values, those languages, those identity, those perceptions, those things I have in common, those my ancestral status. Okay, I answer a last name that came from 10 generations previous. Okay, those 10 generations, and I'm not willing to change it because it gives me the sense of belonging, that I belong to this, and that is what holds me to that society which I know I'm from. Okay, it could be my religion, the belief I have. So in the society I belong to, I have that belief that as a Christian, this is what. So whenever I see every other member of that society as Christians, I hold them as these are members of my society. I also look at, in terms of education, people that share the same career or professional career as a society to me, because we have the same career objective, we share the same knowledge, we share the same value or the same belief in terms of career. So that's another society being built there. So what I'm trying to say here is that a lot of things can hold or binds the society together. Okay, so also another thing that could bind the society together, it could be the interdependency of role. As a father, my child is depending on me. I'm depending on my wife, and my wife is depending on me. My parents are depending on me, and I'm depending on my parents. My siblings are depending on me, and I'm depending on my siblings, uncles, aunties. Even as in the place of work, I am depending on my employer for my salary to earn my living, and my employer is dependent on me to bring in my ability, my talent, and my skill every day to work, to bring for the growth of the organization. Likewise, in the school too, the teachers or the instructors depend on the students in order to pass across the knowledge they have and build. The same thing, the students depends on the lecturer to receive that knowledge per se. So when you look at it, these things makes us and brings us, we are interjoined and intertwined together. Also, what they call interdependency or survival. The doctor depends on the money being paid by the patient or by the insurance company on behalf of the patient for his own living. Okay, and the patient depends on the doctor to receive treatment for a certain ailment. The same thing is obtainable when you talk about the citizens and the government depends on the tax from the citizens in order to be able to fund their expenditures and also coordination and cooperation of the citizens in order to get a working tools for them to perform. And also the citizens depend on the government to provide for them the social amenities. So that law and rule of law and social amenities and those things that could make them to exist and have a good, successful life. So when you look at it, and the totality of all those things are centers in culture, because culture is seen as the totality of the value system, the totality of the belief system, the totality of the system and everything we have in common. So when you look at all those things, those are the things that make us together. So this presentation has covered the major things that this is set out to cover. The first one is looking at dramaturgy and the different aspects of it when you talk about the role performance, the sign vehicles, the teamwork, and the roles that hold society together. Also, we proceeded to treat or to talk about the social reality construct of reality, that what becomes a reality, the social construction of reality, what becomes a reality and what does not, and where do they come from. And lastly, we're able to talk about what holds the society together, and we're able to take a look at different things. I believe that I've been able to pass a very reasonable and tangible information across to my dear audience, and thank you for listening. Bye.